Hey guys, welcome to Hometown WA, and we're coming to you from iFly Perth, representing Hometown Rivervale. Now we're going to go behind the brand, we're going to talk to the awesome team, and we're going to get a bit of an experience of what it's like to fly. So come with me. Obviously the sky's the limit, and the best business to start setting this off is obviously here with iFly Perth and the GM, Emma. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
Em, I'm excited for you to take us around this place and really just give us an insight as to obviously how it's come to be what it is today. But how long have you been here?
I've been here since we opened, so about 7 years.
And what brought you to?
Yeah, so I started skydiving in England, then moved over to Australia, and then happened to end up in Perth and thought, what better place to be? And yeah, loved it, stayed here ever since.
So you started skydiving in England at what age?
I was 20.
20?
Started, yeah.
And you've always been an adrenaline?
Little bit, yeah. I think my parents wouldn't agree. I think I was a quiet, shy kid when I was younger, but yeah, apparently now.
Cool. And so being here in Perth, what have you found to be somewhat fulfilling for you being part of the industry here in skydiving?
So much, like the massive thing in Perth, we actually have such a great community, and one of the biggest actual outdoor skydiving community in Australia, which then translates to indoor skydiving. So it's been super cool to show everyone that it is a sport. It is a sport in its own right.
So it is a sport, indoor skydiving.
Definitely. We've got national championships coming up in October.
And you've competed, obviously.
Yeah. Competed in a few. Now I'm happy just to organise and let everyone else do their thing.
Em, you're going to take us on a tour?
Sure am. We'll start with the fans.
Let's go. Right in. We are in the engine room.
We are.
What is this? What is this area here?
I call it. Yeah. So this is right at the top of the building. That's where the magic happens.
Because I always thought that the fans were at the bottom.
Yeah, so everyone does think that, common misconception, I guess. But yeah, so we've got 4 fans, they're all upstairs, and then they push the air out, recirculates, and comes back up the middle of the tunnel.
So the building is a whole circuit itself, recycling.
Yeah, so everyone always looks at the building, they think it's so big for what we actually have, but yeah, it's all built for the tunnel. So.
And how many fans do you guys have?
4.
4 fans?
And the max speed of the tunnel is 265 kilometres an hour, so pretty fast. Wow. Pretty windy in there.
I bet it is. Go check it out.
Sure.
I want you to take me back to your first ever skydiving experience and thoughts and feelings going through that at 20 years of age.
Yeah, for sure. So I started indoor skydiving first. Never would have thought that I would be the type of person to actually skydive or even do this, to be honest. And then I just, through indoor skydiving, I just met real cool people around me, and they were like, you should go jump, and I was like, oh no. And then next minute I'd signed up to do my solo skydiving course. A lot of emotions, definitely, like it's a massive roller coaster of doing that. I don't think I actually remember my first skydive because of the adrenaline. Even though I was quite aware because I'd flown in the indoor one a lot. Yeah, it was definitely big adrenaline rushes for sure. Yeah.
Obviously, is there a massive difference between the
indoor and outdoor?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say the biggest difference is the adrenaline. The adrenaline, obviously, when you're jumping out of a plane, you've got all the other factors of how high you are, everything like that. But having indoor skydive before, it prepares you massively. It's exactly the same feeling, and that's why so many skydivers use iFly to train as well. Yeah.
Skills as well?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And at iFly, you don't have to go to a drop zone. You can do, say, 10 skydives in 10 minutes here, whereas you have to do the plane ride up and everything like that. So, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Biggest lesson that you've learned from skydiving, both in your personal life and in your professional life as well. So obviously being a GM here, what's one of the biggest lessons that you've learned?
I think just giving stuff a go is massive. Not being obviously fear is a thing that we all have, but trying and not being afraid to fail and learn from your mistakes, and also using your people around you, using that community. Everyone's in the same boat at the end of the day. We all just want to get better. So.
Yeah. Nice, I like that. What's one thing for our audience out there who may be watching this that you could share from your experience who may be looking to start off their skydiving career?
Yeah, for sure. Just give it a go.
Just don't think about it. Just
Don't overthink it. I know that's easier said than done with everything, but yeah, you never know what you're gonna like. And yeah, I never thought that this would be my career. Never thought I'd be in it still 8 years later. But yeah, I love it. Like the people, it's just it's great.
so this area here, obviously, it's very nice and intimate.
This is an insider view for sure. One of our fans, things that do the job.
Yeah, we better get out before we get sucked in.
Agreed. Let's head on in.
Oh,
So yeah, this is where the actual magic happens.
this is the heart of it. So obviously up there was where we were.
Yeah, up the top is the fans. This is downstairs is called the plenum, so pretty deep down there. Yeah.
And the distance between, you know,
The height from here to the top is 14 meters. Not sure what it is down, but yeah, up to the top is 14 meters. So pretty high.
yeah, sure. Now, for those like me who are afraid of heights,
Yes.
how do I get over that before coming in here? Obviously, I can trust in you, but how do I get over that mentally? How did you get over that mentally?
For sure. Actually interesting, a few of our instructors always say that they're scared of heights. I think for like your general first time flyer, when you come in, like you don't want to focus on that. You don't want to look down. You don't want to think about that. Obviously easier said than done, but the instructors are pretty good at, guiding you through that. Also this net can take I think it's like 2 cars or something.
Oh, wow.
Like, it's pretty strong.
We're safe.
We're good on this. And yeah, the instructors are going to keep us safe. So.
And age groups, so how young to how old?
Yeah, so 3 and above. Pretty
3 and
much.
above?
Yeah, so I think the eldest we've flown here is 95, which is really cool. And that's one of the best things I think about here is everyone can do it. There's no limitations. Seeing 3-year-olds, seeing like older people, anyone, any walk of life really.
Disabilities?
Yep. Yeah. So that's real cool. We do like all abilities evenings, which is everyone's favourite to work. We've had people come in that have had like accidents, and then some like people have lost their legs unfortunately, and then they come here and they get to feel that feeling of flying. Like it's pretty incredible. So.
Well, that leads kind of into my next question, Anne. What's fulfilling for you working?
Yeah. So I'd say that is, I think just showing people what they can do. Like for some people, coming here is one of like the biggest things they're ever going to do, which sometimes we take for granted because we see it every day, right? It's normal for us. But yeah, people coming in and seeing them overcome that and then have the time of their lives. It's really cool.
I've got one more question. Your thoughts on Rivervale and being situated here in Rivervale? Thoughts?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, location-wise, it's perfect. We're close to the city, close to the airport. We've got heaps of local businesses that are always happy to support us. We're always trying to reach out to different businesses, see how we can work together, and yeah, just grow all together, really.
I know you mentioned you've got another skydiving business who've just worked together.
Yes, yeah. So Skydive School, they do solo skydiving, so they work out of here as well. And yeah, again, it makes sense, right? People want to come here, they want to skydive. People want to skydive, they want to come here. So yeah, it's a good partnership.
One question before that's just popped into my head. Your best place here in WA to skydive, and also your best place internationally that you've skydived?
So I'd say here, the most beautiful would be Jurien Bay.
Why?
The water. Like it's, turquoise, blue, like just incredible scenery. Internationally, for me, I did my solo skydiving course in Sardinia in Italy, so that was beautiful. But yeah, I think anywhere it's a pretty incredible, cool thing to do.
All right, sounds good to me.
Let's give it a go.
Let's get this party started. All right, guys, we're here with Tanita. Tanita, what is your role here, and how long have you been here?
So I'm a flight instructor and assistant general manager here. I've been working for 4 years and flying for 6.
Flying for 6. And what brought you here to iFly Perth?
So my mother was actually a skydiver before I was born.
No way.
And the dream was always for her and my sister and myself to skydive together. But mum's had a few procedures and bits and pieces that sort of restrict her from skydiving. So we heard about iFly Perth here and brought her along to see how she would feel. And my sister and I just never left. So we generally do it as a family activity now.
And you born here, WA born and bred, or you?
Yeah.
Yep.
WA born and bred. I spent a bit of time in the northwest of WA and then now back in Perth.
What age did you have your first flight solo?
First flight here in the tunnel.
Skydive experience overall.
So here is probably, it was the 6 years ago. This is my first experience of flight.
Yeah.
And then from there, I've gone on and done my solo skydiving course end of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. And obviously, being an instructor, what is two things? First question, what is most fulfilling for you, being an instructor and training people, obviously from the beginning stages and coming and then seeing the fruition of your work? And then the second question, as a follow-up question to that, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? So the first question is, what's fulfilling for you?
So for me, coming into it as a first-time flyer originally, obviously the joy and the experience itself is just so fun, but it's also motivating to see your own progression and where you can take it. So now doing instructing, to be able to facilitate that with other people almost brings me more joy than the flying itself for me personally. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun every day and getting to see other people experience the enjoyment and also their own progression too, and overcoming fears and maybe physical limitations as well. Yeah, super motivating for me.
So obviously your mum being a skydiver, where's Tanita in the next 5 years?
Good question. Very good question. I'd love to be able to take the skills that I have instructing and then be able to move on to training. So being able to build up the next indoor skydiving instructors, the next generation essentially, and then maybe competing internationally as a personal goal. I've had that for a little while now, so wanting to improve the sport itself and see Australia sort of put a stamp on the map as to what we can do.
Yeah, it's awesome. I know that a lot of it takes the control. So there's a control center. Can you just direct us to that and tell us what that's all about?
Yeah, absolutely. Come on through.
The setup here. What do we have here? If you can
So think of this as the main control center. So whenever we're operating the wind tunnel, we have an instructor in the wind and then a driver in here. The driver's main role is speed control. So we've got the dial here. We are able to change the wind speed. So maximum capacity, we work in percentages. So 100% here is nearly 265 kilometers an hour. A general flyer coming in for their first time will be between 50 and 70% of the tunnel's capacity. So that's the main one. Speed control here. We're working on the time, so the duration that each participant is in the wind for. We're operating the doors. And then cameras as well. So we've got front view cameras, there's a top-down camera, and then on the left-hand side here, this is our media center. So changing from flyer to flyer and designating their specific videos into their profile.
What percentage force or air pressure do you need to get like just hovering elevation?
Yeah, so each person, it's very individual. So it does come down to overall surface area. So someone that's quite long and lean is going to be at a lower percentage than someone that's perhaps a little bit shorter. And it does also depend on suit sizes. So you might notice a little bit later that instructors wear generally fairly tight suits. First-time flyers we have in a baggier suits. It just provides a lot more drag when you're in the wind. So they are sitting at a much lower wind percentage. But as an average, you're probably looking at about 160 kilometers per hour for a first-time flyer.
How many are you allowed inside the tunnels in time?
So for first-time experiences, we've got one person in the wind, so it's a one-on-one with the instructor. And then once you're moving through and you're competent in skills, then we can have up to 8 people in the wind at one time.
8 people at one time?
Correct.
And there's no, obviously they're all professionals, and there's no, have you had any incidences where you've tangled or crashed into each other, or?
You see that with our instructors. So like any sport, there's moments along the way. We think of them as little bloopers. It's not always going to go to plan. But most of the time you can have a little bit of a laugh about it, and it's just creating a little bit of awareness in the wind as to keeping everybody safe and knowing how to stay out of each other's way. But yeah, for the most part, we just have a bit of a chuckle and move on. Yeah.
What's the funniest thing you've ever seen in here? Probably an experience either yourself or like with teammates?
I think day to day, we probably lose a shoe every now and then, so that's quite entertaining. For myself, when you're coaching flyers to sit fly, so when you're starting out, you're on your belly, you're moving on to your back flying, and then sit flying is a seated position. With that one, we end up getting a bear hug from the flyer every now and then, so we're standing in front of them to give them instructions, and then they might be driving forward towards you, and you end up in a big bear hug, so it's always an entertaining one.
What's probably the most interesting question you've been asked? here?
The most interesting question or common one is how do the instructors stay standing on the net while everyone else is flying? That's a pretty common one every day.
And how do you guys do that?
We like to joke with people, and that it's usually magnets on the instructor's shoes or a different kind of gravity. But again, it just comes down to surface area. So we are standing in a vertical position. We're catching a lot less wind, so we can stand up quite easily.
Awesome. Well, T, I've actually skydived 100 times mentally. But I wanted to see if you can break down, obviously, from the beginner stage, intermediate to obviously your kind of level expert. What is the progression there?
Absolutely. So your first time experience when you're coming in the building, obviously we don't know anything about the experience. So we're going to provide you all the basic understanding of how to get you in the wind and overall the general body position that we need to be effective. From there, we get you into a neutral body position. So you'll see up here, we've got a set of skills. So as a first time flyer, you're looking for your net neutral body position. So essentially that just means you can stay in the one place, you're not moving around. Okay. All right. From there, we're going to teach you the 6 points.
So is that standing or sitting or lying? So neutral?
So that's laying. So flat on your belly. Like imagine you're laying on the beach, face down. That's what we've got you position-wise in the wind. From that point, we're going to teach you the 6 points of motion. So being able to turn left and right, forwards and backwards, and then up and down as well. At that point, we teach you to get in and get out by yourself. And then it's basically the sky's the limit as to how far you want to take it. So moving on to being a little bit more of an experienced flyer, you're going on to sort of level 2 skills and 3, which is flying on your back. And then sit fly is seated. So it's a vertical position. And then the final position that we teach is head down, which is upside down. Right. And then along the way, there's all the different maneuvers that we can teach to link it all together so you can transition from one to the other.
Okay. And so obviously with you guiding everyone through that, what's a common, just a common misconception out there by the public that they may have with skydiving?
I think the biggest one is the awareness of what we do here. I think when people walk into the building, they think it's just a first time flyer experience and that there's nothing more to it. But this is a sport in its own right. And so being able to come in and see that there's a whole different side to it, I think is something that a lot of people aren't aware of and what we would really like to promote a lot more.
Yeah. And obviously being a sport, which I just found out today, I didn't know was an indoor sport. So is training, everything's done here. What for training for you, what does that consist of?
As an instructor?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, so all of our instructors here, they're starting out, it's a very intensive course. So just to come in as a general employment, it's a 4-week intensive course in the beginning. And then to go all the way through and be able to teach all of the skills, you're looking at about a 2-year, 3-year progression as an instructor. And with that is overall skills training, being able to spot new skills for flyers, so keeping people safe, but also coaching ability. You know, when we're in there, the interesting thing is we can't actually talk to our students because it is so loud. So think of it as a really good game of charades. So for me to be able to translate to you information non-verbally.
Wow, yeah. Must take a skill.
It does. It takes a little bit of practice, but we get pretty good at communicating when we're in there. And ongoing training helps a lot too.
I know Em talked about the community and how important community is. You guys seem like you guys got a solid team here. Talk to me about your team and how in unison you guys have to be in terms to run an operation like this.
For sure. I think we're really lucky here at iFly Perth. The team is very tight-knit. We think of it like our little flying family. It's just crucial, I think, in the experience that we are able to provide to the public as well. You know, the main aim for us is for people to come into the building and right from the get-go, they should feel like they're at home and feel at ease. Obviously, it's a new experience. It can be quite scary for some people, so allowing them to come into our little family and feel at home and then be able to progress from there. For our team specifically, it's a lot of fun. I'm not going to lie, it's a fun job, so we can't come into the building and not have a good day, so I think that helps a lot too, but we're very privileged in the people that we have here throughout our team as customer service and instructors too.
Yeah. I'm going to go a little bit more intimate with you there, T. What's some of the challenges that people may experience here, or you personally that you've experienced here?
I think like any sport, there's going to be moments along the way, like a lot of self-doubt for some people. So in the beginning, it's that intimidation factor of something new and being able to overcome any of those fears. Beyond that, I think it's everyone progresses at a different rate. So, you know, a lot of the time in life as well, we can compare ourselves to other people, and being able to take a step back and know that it's your own path and your own journey. And this is, I think for me personally, it's such a good tool and a reminder of that, because there is going to be moments along the way that is super challenging and you're not sure you're going to get through them. And then you come out the other side and you can get excited about what the next step is.
Yeah, perfect. Well, I love to talk about it. I think it's time we suit up and see where this goes.
Yeah, let's get you in the wind.
All right.
Perfect.
I just get you to fill out a waiver. Your order number just goes in the reference box at the bottom. As you get through the waiver process, there will be a video that you'll need to watch.
Yeah.
It'll take you through all the basics, and then we'll get started from there.
All right, let's get suited up. So you want to take all loose items out of your pockets. All jewelry needs to come off, so watches, bracelets, rings. And then we're going to put a suit on you, so you want to take your shoes off to start with and just pull the suit on over your clothes.
All right. And what is this suit all about? It's just...
So you see that the fabric is fairly tough, so it spends every day in the wind, so it has to hold up to, you know, the high wind speed that we're flying at. But the main feature of it obviously is the oversized bagginess.
Yeah.
It's just going to help you fly when you're in there. It creates a little bit more surface area, gives you more lift, makes it easier. All right, it's going to be pretty loud in there, so we do recommend some earplugs, so help yourself to a pair of those.
Cool.
And then your helmet and goggles as well. So when you're putting the goggles on, just want to pull the strings to make them tighter. Keep them fairly loose for now while you're waiting, and then before we get in, just tighten them up.
T, can you talk to us about the briefing and what does that consist of?
Absolutely, you've never done this before, so our aim is to get you flying on your own as much as possible. So we're going to use some hand signals. These are a way to get you in a good body position. And so the first hand signal you might see is this one here. It means to straighten your legs. This is bend your legs, chin up,
Okay.
and most important, relax.
Oh, like that one.
Okay,
Cool.
to get in, you're going to go feet shoulder width apart. Imagine you're holding a giant hamburger above your head. So a little bend in the elbows, chin goes up. When it's time to go, treat it like a trust fall. So hips forward and just lean in,
Okay.
away you go. Okay,
Just lean in and...
that's all you have to do. Once you're in, we'll make some of those adjustments to your body position by either straightening or bending the legs. And then if we do need to adjust your hand position, we're just going to be encouraging you to move your hand forwards or backwards. Whatever we've done on one side, you just want to make it the same on the other side.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, Tanita, it's been an absolute pleasure being here, and thank you so much for taking us around and really just giving a bit of an insight of your world. Now, for them, everyone else, our audience out there, to get more information on here, and they need to get here ASAP, where can they visit and where can they go to?
Yeah, for sure. So socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, just iFly Perth, and then website.
Yeah, you can find us at iflyworld.com.au.
Awesome. Right, we'll put the link in the description below. But again, girls, thank you so much for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Thanks, Em.